G'day everyone and welcome to part 2 of this particular channeling session. I already brought you part 1 with the first half of questions from this session. It is a high sensory perception channeling communication done by Fifi. All her information is in the comments. I already know what's coming and you are going to love it. So kick back, relax, grab a drink and enjoy. This is Paranormal and Cryptid Adventures. Alright now guys, just a heads up, I'm not sure what's happening. My batteries are all draining super fast. I'm not sure if it's the location, if there's something wrong with my batteries, but we may have to switch to a lower quality camera very shortly. So if you notice a drop in quality, it's because my good camera, the batteries aren't, it's tripped me out. I've gone through 3 batteries already. And I'm on my last battery now. I don't know what the hell's happening. Anyway, so now, our next question comes from one of my regulars, Mr. John Saucer Hunter. How you doing, brother? One of my good viewers, always around, always asking questions, always watching. He asked, how can we, humans and Yowies, get better acquainted and feel comfortable with one another? And the answer, evolve your connection to Dreamtime and the earth. So this comes back again to, I think, a spiritual, mystical connection. Don't be so detached from the planet. Don't be so destructive. Don't. Alright, well I called it. All the batteries are dead. I have no idea what's going on here. I thought they were fully charged. Maybe the charger wasn't working. So we're back onto the smaller point and click now. So it's going to look a little different. It's going to sound a little different. But we're still here. We're still pumping through the information. So just go along with it. I'm sure you'll be okay. I think we'll all survive. So evolve your connection to Dreamtime and the earth. I think this all comes back to honoring the earth. Connecting to the earth. Meditation. I think it comes down to feeling the energy of the area you're in. Not being so flippant with the way that we destroy nature, the way that we treat nature, pollute, rubbish, treat animals poorly, shoot people, shoot animals, people, Jesus. I think it all comes down to that. You can read into that a different way, but that makes a lot of sense with the information that we got last time as well. So that's very interesting. The next question. This one comes from John Power, so I must have hit the Johns first. What foods do you mostly eat? Now I found this really interesting because I thought this could be really good from a research perspective. Those who like to leave gifts of food, I thought this could help you guys out. The answer's not going to lie, you're not going to like it. But is there something huge in this answer or what? They said, in our reality, ley lines give us what we need. In our reality, ley lines give us what we need. Ley lines are energetic phenomena across the planet. They're kind of an energetic grid. So they are now suggesting, they are now confirming that they have a different reality to ours. You've got to read between the lines here. They're not from our reality. They have their own reality. And within that reality, there is some kind of energetic exchange that sustains them. So we could be talking 4th, 5th dimension here. Who? I don't know. I don't want to put too many words in their mouth. In our reality, ley lines sustain us. If this communication is valid, and if we really are communicating with a Yowie, confirmed. Our reality, their reality, different. However, the answer goes on. So I'll just recap that huge line. In our reality, ley lines give us what we need. In 3D, so in this reality, we utilize what is there. Now again, this led to all sorts of questions which I've already written down and I will already be asking in another session soon. So, I mean, yeah, this is kind of huge. So sorry for all those gifters that like to give food. They take what they need. What do they need? We still don't know. Now, Open Bar Adventure, another good subscriber. That sounded horrible. Another good subscriber. Comments almost every video, watches every video. So how you doing, man? Are there any other intelligent beings, earthbound or not, that you communicate with? Great question. Answer, yes. Yes, there are other intelligent beings that we communicate with. Now, the next line is going to satisfy a lot of people. Yes, we are interdimensional. It says it right here. Yes, we are interdimensional. So none of this information is banging up against previous information or existing information or information even in this session. It's all gelling and creating one coherent story that actually makes sense. And by the time I do all these sessions, I'm going to piece together this story and basically lay it all out in one video. But that book is still being written. So they are interdimensional. They have their own reality. They feed on energy. They are interdimensional. I'm just going to leave that one for you to think about. Next question from Rogue One, yet another fantastic subscriber, always talking, always chatting, always watching. And this is something that people want to know. What do the different I almost said something else. What do the different stick structures mean? So we all know the stick structures, the leaners, asterisks, the broken branches. I'm not going to go into them, there's 1,000 of them, right? What do the different stick structures mean? Answer. PowerPoints to connect with. PowerPoints to connect with. What did they say about ley lines, energy, power, sustaining them? Different reality. Why would they need to connect with a PowerPoint? Now there's a few things you could say. There's been portals reported overseas in regards to these beings. We all know how orbs often accompany these beings around. You'll see an orb and then you'll have a sighting. So orb is an electrical phenomenon. Ley lines are energetic electrical phenomenon. Now they're saying that the stick structures are PowerPoints. Now, there was a long time ago that I had this theory whilst walking through the bush. And you know what? I was going to save it. Let's read it out right now. I wasn't planning this. I was not planning this, so I'm going to have to dig it out. I wrote it down. I was in the middle of the bush. I was walking around and just had this idea come to me, as they often do. And if you're familiar with my Campfire Curiosity series on my Bushcraft and Camping Adventures channel, it's all about giving these random ideas that come to my head. Let me find... Okay, now I don't know if this is going to make sense. If it does, it makes the cut. If it doesn't, you won't see this. What if the forest, and the way all the sticks and logs and trees and water falls to the ground, what if they create an almost electrical circuit-like effect? When the right combination and arrangement of sticks, leaves, rocks, water, logs, etc. are created, then this can create a chain reaction of energy. For example, a portal through which beings can appear and disappear, like the effects such as floating orbs, the anomalous visual disturbances, shadows, etc., and other unexplained phenomena. Yowies are building structures and moving the forest around in an attempt to activate such circuitry and create an effect that they can take advantage of. Maybe something to do with ley line activation too. And now we've got the Yowies saying that their stick structures are PowerPoints they can connect with. So what I'm saying is, if you have a puddle of water here and a few rocks here and then a log and then some sticks lying on the log, it might create a combination of energy that is like some unknown circuitry, some electronic, like we understand how circuits work on a circuit board, but maybe there's like a natural circuit board. And when it's wired just the right way, it creates a certain type of energy that the Yowies can tap into or use in some way. That was my idea. Random idea that came to me walking through the woods. And now this answer, PowerPoints we can connect with, is their so-called explanation to the stick structures. We're going to keep going. You can see why this video needs to be broken up, because there's so much to take in. Finnegan Clunas. I don't know it's meant to be Finnegan, but Finnegan Clunas asked these questions. Have your people and humans ever worked together? And the answer, yes. Indigenous peoples. Now, I have read similar stories. People have commented similar stories that in the past there was interaction between Yowies and Indigenous people in Australia, and we know that that's the case overseas as well, especially in the Americas. So this again jives very well with existing knowledge. Alright, question 21. This is from iGym Radio. How you doing, iGym Radio? He always comments well. You guys are great subscribers, man. All these questions are from my subscribers. Like, such good stuff. Where as a species are we going wrong in your eyes, in the Yowies' eyes? And the answer, you forgot to honour the mother. Do not rape or pillage her. That's couldn't be any clearer. I don't think I need to go into that one at all. Say no more. There's 3 people asked this question. 3 bloody good subscribers again. Gay Morgan, hi Gay. Kim Bell, and Red Dragon Stacking. Red Dragon, tell me what that name means. I always picture that you're like one of those people that does the cup stacking. Anyway, tell me, Red Dragon Stacking, does that mean you're like a stacking person? Or you stack boxes? What does stacking mean? Do you live on our planet? Or are you interdimensional, extraterrestrial? The answer, both. We gave you 3 options, Najikam. Can't have both on 3 options. So that's a little bit... do they live on... I think they're saying they both live on this planet and are not from this planet. Interdimensional, extraterrestrial could be seen as the same thing in that context. So yes, they live here, but they're also elsewhere. Again, if this is all real, right, the significance of these answers are almost lost on us. Because there's so much info here. I keep going. This question's from Brett Connor. G'day, Brett. Ley lines. Thanks for this mad question. Ley lines. How do you use them, and do other animals do this too? Answer. A spiritual connection is how we use them. So there's clearly an energetic, spiritual element here. Quite a big answer. Take away your dominant left brain, then you'd have more idea. Animals can do this too that are wild. You can't get this understanding through the intellect. Okay. Back up. A spiritual connection is how we use them. So to me that says they might meditate in a particularly strong energy center created by ley lines. We need to switch off our left brain. I think the right brain is the more creative side of the brain and the left brain is the more analytic, scientific side of the brain, I believe. Sorry if I got that wrong. So we can't use our analytic, intelligent brain to understand this. We have to basically just connect and let ourselves go. And that's something that they seem to be doing with ley lines. And that's how they get... Remember last video I said something about information being sent via ley lines? Yeah. Ley lines connect the entire planet. So does that mean that they could communicate from one side of the planet to the other? Think about that. There's so much here. I'm triggered. I love that name. I'm triggered said, how often do you see humans? And in the case of you seeing a human, do you like to watch or would you rather get away and hide? Reported heavy sinking feeling here again, that sad heavy sinking feeling. Said, understands all humans aren't destructive to life, which is good. That's very good that they understand that. Communication with ones that can meet us in our reality. So again, our reality. Double confirmation. My reality, their reality, 2 different things. So those, I'm assuming like Fifi, that can meet them in their reality, they're happy to communicate with, as we can see. I'm going to try and build this skill up myself. But, yeah. So I don't know if that's ones that are worthy or just ones that have the ability to communicate with them, they'll communicate with. Now, Elizabeth Gleedle. Do we all remember Elizabeth? She was the inaugural Sober Sunsets Binge Watch Challenge champion. She was the first person to ever watch the entire binge on my Bushcraft and Camping Adventures channel, which by the way, if you do, I'll give you a mad ass shout out. So Elizabeth, always a great friend of the channel, has asked, how long are Yowie females pregnant for? Now this goes against a previous answer that said that they were eternal and that I speculated meant they aren't necessarily birthed. But as I said before, it depends on what they're referring to when we're talking about them. If we're talking about their spirit bodies and their physical bodies as 2 different things, then yeah. Anyway. But then again, I take it back. It says human terms, so 9 months, but we come from spirit. So human terms, but we come from spirit. So we originate from spirit. We may have a human term, we may have a physical body, but we originate from spirit. So I'm starting to think they have a physical body which they use and they have a spiritual body which is more them. That's what I'm starting to think. This is from Red Dragon Stacking again. Do you know how to speak our language or understand it? Now we said owl. That could be one of a million languages. Probably should have said English, but you'd have to assume there's some intelligence at play there. And yeah, I don't know how to take that one, because I said owl. I should have changed to be more specific. But the answer was yes. They do understand our language and how to speak it. And who knows if they're even talking English, Japanese, you know, German, whatever. Who knows? They might be talking something else. But the question as it's asked, yes, they do understand it and know how to speak it. Now, Red Dragon Stacking again. This is the Red Dragon Stacking show. Would you teach some people that you think are worthy about you? But yes, answer is yes. But person needs to develop spiritually to do this. So this ties it in again. I need to develop spiritually. This is what I'm telling you. If there's someone that is capable, they're not afraid. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to communicate with us, which is wicked cool. So I know what I need to get practicing on. Now this was a great question. This was from Rogue One. He's already had a question asked. How do you say hello or friend in your language? And we got an answer, and it sounds very indigenous. Nagum. Now, Fifi guessed this spelling, okay? So I'm going to give you Fifi's spelling. N-N-A-A-G-U-M. Nagum, Nagam. But Nagum, Nagam. I'm not sure which one. That rhymed. But there's your answer there. Now, Lady Green Eyes 964. One of my oldest, not oldest in age, longest subscribers. Legend. Her question. I love this answer. And I'm going to... I'll tell you in a second. What are you? Human, animal, other? Great question. Answer. Not human. Earth Keeper. How cool is that? And that's going to tie into an answer later. Earth Keeper. So I'm going to start using that phrase. I'm going to start calling them Earth Keepers. They're still Yowies, but they're Earth Keepers. And you'll know why. I mean, this ties into everything we've discussed, and you'll also know why when we get to another question later. Now from Michael Pittman, another Sober Sunsets binge watch challenge completionist, but you guys don't know that because I take 25 years to do shout out videos, only because I don't have enough people to shout out. But anyway, I'm going to do one soon. Michael Pittman's an absolute champion. He's also given me a whole bunch of locations to go check out whenever I get a chance to. So Michael's an absolute legend. How you doing, man? His question: do you tree knock / throw rocks? Are we just hearing things, or do you actually communicate with people? The answer: this is almost a joke. They've almost cracked a joke at us. I'm in communication now without rocks or trees. Oh, it doesn't really answer the question. That's just literally a tongue-in-cheek response. I'm in communication now without rocks or trees. I love that. I love that answer. Now, Jackie Ann, broken record, another awesome subscriber. Jackie Ann goes deep with her questions, man. What do we need to do to achieve harmony? Now, she didn't say with Yowies, just harmony, I think, individually is how the answer was taken. But anyway, evolve. Reconnect to spirit and earth and to your hearts. So we need to evolve. Damn straight. Preach. Reconnect to earth, to spirit, to our hearts. And that is literally indigenous belief 101 from anywhere around the world. It's always talked about moving from a brain space into a heart space, and there's a lot to go along with that. I can't even do 28 videos to explain that to you, but that's a big answer. Alright, Rob Osborne, guess what? That's right, another good subscriber, regular commenter. What does each glyph you leave actually mean? Where we have been, a directory for us. So there's information encoded into these glyphs, and they're telling them where we have been and maybe where to go, much like indigenous peoples in Australia would have songs and art to give the exact same information. They have song lines, they have literal rhythms, they have didgeridoo, they have artwork itself, and all of it tells a story of, gives knowledge, gives directions. It's basically a treasure trove of knowledge, and their glyphs seem to be the exact same thing. Very cool. We're getting to the back end of it now, guys. Almost done. Rick Terry, guess what? Another awesome subscriber. Why is it that so few people have actual encounters? And the answer, so few people possess the ability to see outside of 3D. So again, it's this third eye thing. It's getting outside of this reality and into another reality. But that question and that answer created a bunch of questions that, again, I'm going to be asking in the next session we do with Fifi. Because there's a lot that brought to my mind. And I don't want to say it here, you can wait. But yeah, very, very cool. Now, Rogue One already asked a bunch. I love this answer to this question. What do you prefer to be called? And their answer, Earth Keepers. And that is why I want to start referencing them as Earth Keepers. I'm not going to lose YOWIE or Bigfoot or Sasquatch, because let's face facts. No one will be able to find my stuff if I can't stop saying YOWIE and all that, but Earth Keepers is what they want to be called. That gives an idea into their intention, into their role, into their purpose, to what everything they're about is. They're an Earth Keeper. And you can dig deep into that if you want. But I'm just going to leave it there. Rogue One. Wow, man, you got a lot of questions in here. How many different YOWIE types are there? Answer. We aren't fragmented. One species in a framework of spirit. I believe it's meant to say we are fragmented. I don't know. Anyway, so we aren't fragmented. Oh no, maybe they're saying there's not different species. Yeah, no, this is correct. He's saying there's not different species. There's not different types. We aren't fragmented. We are one species in a framework of spirit. So if all the spirit is spirit type X, and the species stem from that, the spirit creates the framework for what comes into the physical. I mean, that goes back to almost biocentrism to a degree. The belief that before there was anything, before Big Bang, before anything, there was consciousness, which you could derive as spirit, and that everything came from that. We are one species. What does it say? We are one species in a framework of spirit. There's an absolute theme through all this, isn't there? There really is. Now, Brendan Lee, good old Mr. Moneybags, now the gentleman who funded this. His last question. Would you like to see inside of a human city? A pretty novel answer. A pretty novel question, sorry. Answer? No. Seems repugnant. You're right. And he's right. Our nests, our cities are pretty repugnant, let's be honest. Jackie Ann. Good old Jackie Ann again. Would you ever coexist with humans? We are here now doing our purpose to balance the earth. Energetically balance the earth. I know there's a lot of stories of monks meditating and doing all their energy work to balance the earth as well. So they're not here just walking around the forest looking for food. They're here doing energy work. That's what I get from that question. Answer. More. We can coexist with evolved humans. Ones that can read ley lines and see into spirit and other dimensions. So their reality is another dimension. It says it right here. And they will work with humans who can do it, as evidenced by what Fifi is doing with them. They're working with Fifi through this process. They're working with me. They're working with you through this process. And just for the record, they know that these questions weren't all from me. I told them specifically that there is a group of humans that mean only well for you and just are curious about you. They know that. Very interesting. We have 2 more questions left. Jackie Ann again. Jackie Ann got 2 of the last 3 questions. Do you recognize, understand, or use light language and codes? Now, I'm not going to lie, Jackie. I wasn't 100% sure what you were referencing here, but I included it anyway because you know what you're referencing. And their answer, well, we've got a very good answer. We speak through the land and spiritual 4th and 5th dimensions. So, I don't understand what speak through the land is. Is that they speak as in they interact with this reality through the land, stick structures, you know, etc. I'm not quite sure. But they speak through the land and spiritual 4th and 5th dimensions. So their reality, I'm going to call it, they're a 4th or 5th dimension entity, incarnating in physical bodies on Earth to do energy work and balance the earth, to keep the earth. There is so much. I should have saved that question for last. There is so much with that statement I just made. And the last question, Sam Hunt, what is your view on fire? The answer, purifying and beautiful. There's a lot of rumours that Yowies hate fire and will stay away. So, fire is absolutely everything they said. Purifying and beautiful. So, what do you think? The problem with this is I'm not sure which video I've posted which questions, so it's very hard for me to give an overall view, but that is game changing for me. I'm viewing things very differently, particularly from their perspective. I am starting to think they are not big, hulking, primitive apes that have not been discovered and are simply an animal roaming the woods. I am definitely not believing that anymore. My next session with Fifi will really help inform that. You guys are going to love the questions that I've come up with. They're so good. Brendan's come up with questions. I'll get Peter to come up with some more questions. But I don't think they're purely an animal that just happened to avoid detection to this point. The more I think about that view, the less sense it makes. The more I think that these things are spiritual beings that can incarnate into a physical body. And man, this is getting deep. I don't know how much of this to actually put out there. Wow. I wonder, I'm going to have to ask... Oh, okay, alright, I'll go. Alright. My head's exploding. This is good. It's good to get this on camera. It's good to get it out there. This is getting deep now. My brain's just racing and I'm on camera and it's awkward to talk and have all these thoughts running through my head. I'm just not trying to verbalize everything that comes to my head. It really is starting to become a question of the nature of reality itself. How our reality is formed and crafted and what is our reality. This is really starting to bend everything. Wow, how cool. Alright, I'm going to have to wrap this one up. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here and going along this journey with me more than you'll know. If you like this content, share it, spread it. Let's get some eyes on this channel. Let's get this information out there. Because this could help Yowie researchers, Bigfoot researchers, Sasquatch researchers, the planet over. This info may already be out there, but I just haven't come across it. So I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure other people are channeling these guys and getting similar info. But for me, this is really, really cool. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And I will see you guys out there camping very soon. See you later. Thanks guys. Bye for now.